This year, we celebrate our 76th Independence Day, marking the freedom of our nation and the numerous benefits that come with it. Today, we relish the freedom to socialize, engage in group discussions, and question the authority without hindrance. However, let's take a moment to imagine a time when group chats with friends were forbidden, expressing opinion on social media posts were not allowed. Films, magazines, and newspapers faced censorship, and criticizing the government on platforms like YouTube was prohibited. It may seem unimaginable, but believe it or not, such a period occurred in India's history, and that is called the emergency. During that time, the country's democracy was suspended, and the people's voices were silenced as their freedom was taken away. Indira Gandhi ruled with an iron grip, and this chapter had a profound impact on our nation and garnered international attention. But why did the leader impose such restrictive measures when she knew they would be difficult for the citizens to endure? How did the country cope with this challenging period? This is Nivipedia. Let's dig into it. In 1975, Indra Gandhi declared the state of emergency in India. But what does that actually mean? According to Article 352 of the Indian Constitution, the President can declare a state of emergency in the event of an external aggression and war or internal disturbance in a specific region or throughout the nation. This was not the first time India faced an emergency. It happened twice before this, during the India-Pakistan War in 1971 and Indo-China War in 1962. However, the 1975 emergency was not as the result of a war, rather internal disturbance. What led to these internal disturbances? There were several incidents that indirectly contributed to the declaration of emergency. One such incident was R.C. Cooper's case. In 1969, the government nationalized 14 major private banks, assuming control over them. A shareholder named R.C. Cooper challenged this action in the Supreme Court, arguing that it violated certain fundamental rights, including the right to property. The court sided with R.C. Cooper, leading to a clash between Supreme Court and the government. Adding to the turmoil, Raj Naren, a politician from the opposition Janata Party, accused Indira Gandhi for involving in electoral malpractices during the Lok Sabha election. The case gained attention when the Allahabad High Court found her guilty, stating that she misused government resources and engaged in corrupt practices for her election campaign. The court ruled that she couldn't be a Lok Sabha member for the next 6 years, and that means she couldn't be a Prime Minister. Indira Gandhi appealed this decision in the Supreme Court. Since the court was on vacation, a vacation bench allowed her to be the Prime Minister until the court reconvened. All these factors pushed the Indira Gandhi-led government into the brink of collapse. On one side, the administration was against her, and on the other side, the opposition roasted her. She was engulfed in the turmoil of losing power and influence. To address all these issues together, she played the final card, emergency. In 1975, Indira Gandhi declared the state of emergency. With that declaration, she took the first step to silence the voices of opposition. With the president's approval, she unleashed waves of arrests targeting the opposition party leaders across the country. J.P. Narayanan, the prime face of all the protests against her, was arrested without any prior information, and other young uprising leaders like Vajpayee and Advani were also arrested. Senior leaders like Morarji Desai were sent behind bars. Even her own party members who opposed Indira's actions were not spared. She also took control over the press to prevent negative coverage. No media outlets were allowed to publish without strict government censorship. During those days, many media outlets and leaders found alternative ways for communication to inform people what was happening in the country. Not only the political personalities suffered during that time, but also the general public faced tremendous hardships because of severing of fundamental rights. People were not allowed to gather in groups, and questioning the authorities were strictly prohibited. The government authorities used this emergency period as a tool to scrutinize common people, believing that they owned them like kings. But the story doesn't end there. Indira Gandhi passed the 42nd Amendment Act, which limited the power of the court and increased the power of government authorities. However, the amendment was later revised. Emergency lasted until 1977, earning the name the Dark Era of India's democracy because the citizens lost their fundamental rights, including the freedom of expression. Interestingly, it did not come to an end due to large-scale protests. Instead, it was because of Indira's miscalculation. During the emergency, Indira believed she had silenced the voices raised against her and she thought nobody was left to question her authority. Calculating that the absence of negative voices would ensure her victory, she decided to end the emergency and hold elections. The public could no longer bear the loss of their basic rights and yearned for a free and democratic society.
And yet they booted you out in 1977.
Well, I think booted is a strong word. We were defeated.
Their resilience paved the way for the restoration of their rights and the return of a democratic India. In conclusion, the 1975 emergency was a challenging time in the Indian history. Indira Gandhi's decision to impose this was influenced by several events that strained the relationship between the government and the judiciary. The emergency deprived citizens of their rights and suppressed their voices, leaving a profound impact. However, the unwavering spirit of Indian people led to the restoration of the rights and resurgence of democracy. What is your opinion on this? Though we know Indira Gandhi as a powerful leader, do you think what she did about emergency is right? Comment below. See you in next video. Bye.